Hello and welcome to another video lesson with Mr. Roman. Today we're going to be talking about graphing lines with slopes, different kinds. So let's talk about the different kinds of slopes we can have. Negative slope is a line that falls from the left to the right. So in the picture here, a negative slope would be going downward from left to right. So this would be a negative slope. And then a positive slope is a line that rises from the left to the right. So here, the green line would have a positive slope to it. Okay? And then the zero slope is a horizontal line. So all horizontal lines have a zero slope, and a horizontal line looks like this. It's perfectly flat with the horizon. So the blue line would be a horizontal line. It would have a zero slope. Then we have the undefined slope. The undefined slope is a vertical line. So the vertical line looks like this. So going straight up and down. And its slope is undefined. There's no way to define what that is because it's constantly going up, infinitely amount. And then next, the slope formula. So really the slope formula is talking about what, it's the formula that tells us how we can find the slope between two points on a line. So the slope formula is m equals y1 minus y2 all over x1 minus x2. Or another way you can say this is it's the change in the vertical direction. So change in the vertical direction over the change in the horizontal direction. Okay, so the x's here deal with the horizontal change. So that would be the x's. And then the y's deal with the vertical change. So that's the vertical. Here, if we're looking at two lines, let's just say we have the two blue lines here, for example. And we have a vertical line here and then a horizontal line here. We can see that these two lines will intersect each other. And in fact, we know that any vertical line that intersects with a horizontal line is going to be perpendicular no matter what. So again, any vertical line that intersects with a horizontal line is going to be perpendicular to each other. So down here at the bottom, we can say, we're a little out of order, but here we're at this point here. So a vertical line and a horizontal line in the coordinate plane are always perpendicular. And then when we say we have two vertical lines are always parallel, so that would mean this, that we have two vertical lines looking like that. Those two blue lines here are always going to be parallel to each other, so they're always vertical. And then if we wanted to, that's not a very good horizontal line, but here, if we take this blue line, the two horizontal lines here, those are also always going to be parallel to each other. So two horizontal lines are always parallel to each other. So here. Okay, so really parallel basically just means that the two lines have the same slope. Okay, so that's one key aspect. And that perpendicular lines, really, there are two things you need. You have opposite signs and they have to be reciprocals of each other. So an example of that would be like negative 2/3 and positive 3/2. Those two slopes are opposite signs and they're reciprocals of each other. So the reciprocal meaning that the fraction has been flipped. And so if we look at our diagram here, let's suppose for a second that we wanted to draw a line through the point 3, -2. So 3, -2. And that line should have a slope of -1/6. So m here equals the slope. So if we want to draw a line through the point 3, -2 that has a slope of -1/6, well, first of all, we need to create a graph, a coordinate plane. And then we're going to plot the point 3, -2. So 3, -2 would be here. And then to have the line go through that point with the proper slope, we just use the slope then next to graph the other points. So we could say -1/6 would be, let's go ahead and say we're going to go down 1, and then we're going to go right 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not having quite enough space here, but you get the idea. Or we could go the opposite direction. We could go up 1 and then left 6. So 2, 4, 6. And that would be another dot here. And then we would simply just connect the dots with our line. Ooh, that one's not working. So we could connect the dots with our line. And so here. Oh, man. Okay. I went ahead and corrected the graph there. So here we started with the point 3, negative 2. And then the next point would be down 1, right 6. So here's that next point. And then we could also go to the opposite direction in that point. So the line that we'd be looking for would be this one, connecting all 3 dots. So that would be how you would graph a line given a point on the line and the slope. Next, if we want to graph a line with the given description, so let's say I gave you a line that is passing through the point 1, negative 3, and let's say it is going to be perpendicular. It's going to be perpendicular through the line that travels through the points, let's say 2, 5, and 4, 3. So first of all, the line that's passing through these 2 points here, let's go ahead and just graph that on the coordinate plane. So we create our little x and y axis. And the point 2, 5, so 2, comma 2, 4, 5. So there's the point 2, 5. And then the point 4, 3. So we have 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's that line here. And we'll call this point A and point B. Point A, point B. There's the line passing through those 2 points. The slope of that line is going to be a negative 1 slope. So here, the slope of this line is going to be negative 1. Now, the perpendicular line running through that, we know, has to have a slope that is not only positive, but the reciprocal of 1, which the reciprocal of 1 is really just 1. So when we have the negative 1 slope, the reciprocal, the opposite sign and the reciprocal of that would just be a positive 1 slope. But it has to go through the point 1, comma, negative 3. So we have the point 1, negative 3, which would be here. And then we use our positive 1 slope to just simply start putting dots. Okay? And that would be our line that is going to be perpendicular through that point to the given line already. Let's try one more like that. And let's just say, for example, we had negative 2, comma, let's say negative 1. And we wanted to find the line that's going to be parallel to the line that is through these 2 points. So let's say 6, comma 2, and then 1, comma, let's not do 2. Let's do 4. So here, let's start off by graphing these points here, A and B. So create our graph. And the point 6, 2, so point A, so 2, 4, 6, 2. There's point A. And then 1, 4, so you have 1, 2, 4. That's point B. And then we can draw the line here to connect the dots. And the slope of this line would be then negative 2 and positive 5. So the slope of the line here would be a negative 2/5. Okay. Now, if we wanted to graph a line that is parallel to that and running through this point here, well, first we need to graph that point. So negative 2, negative 1 would be here. And then if it's going to be parallel to that, it has the same slope, so we can just use the same slope of negative 2/5. So we're going to go down 2, right 5. So there's 1 point, down 2, right 5. And then we connect the dots. And that would be the line that is parallel to the given line here, passing through these points, and passing through this point here. So for homework tonight, number 1, let's go ahead and say that you are going to find the line, or graph the line, okay, so on numbers 1 through 2, numbers 1 and 2 for your homework, graph the line that is going through the point with the given slope. So it has to have first the given point, and then using that slope, graph the line that would run through there. For numbers 3 and 4, you're going to graph the line through the point that is parallel to the line K. So here's the point that we're passing through, and then this is the line K here. And then for numbers 5 and 6, graph the line through the point that is perpendicular to the line K. So these are the points that we're passing through, and these are the line K. And I will see you all on Wednesday during class. Have a nice day.